to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George. Hello everybody and welcome in to the Cinementalists, where today we conclude our celebration of Black History Month with one of the decade's very best films, Nickel Boys. It was released originally on December 13th, 2024 in a limited release in Los Angeles and New York, but it did hit streaming almost a year ago to the day, February 28th, 2025. So interesting little tidbit there. It was directed and written by RaMell Ross, co-penned by Jocelyn Barnes, based on the book by Colston Whitehead. I am Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to have you, and I apologize, I mispronounced his name. It is Colson Whitehead, not Colston. Got my name mixed up with his name. Yeah, incredible movie. I absolutely adore it. I went and saw it in theaters in January of 2025. January 2025. Sorry, I'm just all thrown off by award season. Always messes me up. I'm like, it was nominated in 2025, not released in 2025, released in 2024, but I didn't see it till 2025. It's all, all that good stuff. And I remember just being absolutely awed by it. And that was the first and last time I had seen it until I rewatched it just a couple nights ago, just because it's really heavy and it stuck with me like glue. True. I remembered every ounce of it. This was a first viewing for you. How are you feeling?
I'm jealous of the theater viewing. I mean, because this would have been visually alone, the movie was so I've never seen a movie like this. Has this ever actually been done before? And I'm just ignorant to it.
Not as intimately as this one is doing it. I think they've done like first person action movies, and stuff like that.
But 100% of the time. I guess we have the third person, I guess technically there's some third person shots, but this was, oh my God. So visually alone, it was incredible. And then just like the subject matter and then story unfolds, and then I'm just like, I kind of wish it was more of just a visual movie and I didn't have to, it does. Yeah. I mean, it is very heavy. You did prep me for it. You didn't say this was a sunshine and rainbow, it was going to be something grand. No, but, so I was ready for it. And, but still, no, it was already bad, and then I wasn't expecting a twist to come. I got, in the movie.
You never are, I suppose.
Yeah, true. True.
No, it's incredible what they managed to pull off here. I remember watching it and being like, oh, I haven't seen a movie this good, maybe ever. And I think a theater experience really, really heightens it. One thing you're not going to get at home when you're watching this movie is how incredible the sound is. I mean, the sound design is unbelievable. Because again, it does have that sort of perspective thing going on. You hear things coming from certain directions as the person who you are looking through the eyes of would hear them. And so it's very, very, it was very intricately designed in that regard. Again, you said visually, it's an unbelievable experience just from literally giving a new meaning to walking a mile in somebody else's shoes. It's a beautiful, beautiful movie. And, I was of the mind that it was a Best Picture nominee last year. And while I like Anora a lot, I have no doubt it's better than Anora. I think it should have won. I think it should have won Best Picture. It was also nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, which it lost to Conclave. I think it should have beat that too. And those were its only two nominations. It wasn't even nominated for cinematography, which it should have been. It wasn't even nominated for Best Sound Design, which I think it should have been. It wasn't nominated for Best Score, which I think is an absolute fucking travesty.
Conclave. That's wild. That's insane.
Conclave
I haven't
notably
seen Anora
nominated
yet,
in 2 of the 3 categories I just also listed as it should have been nominated in, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's 24,000 reviews on IMDb and under a 7 as well. I'm kind of like, what's going on? Why is it not more popular? 1 and 2. What the fuck are people like? Did I watch the same movie that everyone else watched? I guess. I mean, this is crazy. I looked like, have I seen any other movies by this guy? The director.
No,
this is
no.
first ever
first feature film.
What the what the shit? Like that's not okay.
It's insane. It's the vision is unbelievable. Again, best director. Can't believe that's one of those things that I think should have been very, very heavily considered. Just because to craft something with such intention and set the tone so poignantly and brilliantly bring it to life. I don't think I've seen a movie, definitely not last year, definitely not in 2025. There's not a single movie in my mind that holds a candle to Nickel Boys that I've seen released in theaters in the last year. And that says a lot. Like One Battle After Another was incredible. Sinners is incredible. There's a few others that are just Marty Supreme incredible, but they in the strictest regard of going, this is the story I'm going to tell, and I'm going to tell it in such a specific way that you won't have seen anything like it before, and you likely won't see anything like it after, I think it's an unbelievable achievement. And I think, to try to wrap my head around why it wouldn't have a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. And again, the number thing is arbitrary, but, I think it's worth mentioning, it was worth bringing up for sure that it isn't universally renowned as an incredible movie. I think it is because that it is so style forward. Like it almost could be alienating, I suppose. I suppose there could be there's a perspective to be had that maybe someone doesn't like the idea of them seeing everything through the character's eyes, and it's a different lens for sure. But I just love The Swing. I think it's an incredible choice, and I can see why it wouldn't work for everybody, but I have a tough time wrapping my head around how it doesn't work for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I guess, I was immediately kind of in, and I'm like, it was just so unique, and I've never seen a movie like it that I'm like, ooh, like it's fun. It almost added like a fun aspect to the movie a little bit. It's hard to say that word here, but to have fun while watching.
No, it's incredibly creative, and that's inspiring. Yeah.
Whenever we have the first camera switch, I feel like we're there in, I guess, prison. I don't know what the academy, I guess, sure, academy if you want to call it whatever, but no, they're having their first lunch or meal, and then the switch. I remember when that happened, I didn't even think I didn't think it was going to. I thought we were gonna be staying there the whole time, staying in just one perspective the whole time, which I was already so okay with. But then the dynamic of going back and forth was it added a whole different layer, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so. Yeah, it was that was the fun part of the movie, kind of whoa, this is an experience, kind of, and being, oh my god, thinking of this in a theater would be insane.
I mean, it was moving beyond measure. I've got chills just thinking about it because it was so special. And what I love about that choice halfway through the movie is not only, given the ending, does it give us a little bit of a foreshadowing, which is that Elwood's perspective isn't the only one we're going to be seeing forever, but to officially give us a taste of the performer playing Elwood. And I apologize, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Ethan Harris.
Harris. Okay, there.
Or Harris. Either one. I'm not sure. But he does such an incredible job. And this is such a difficult job to be doing. Both him and the actor playing Turner, Brandon Wilson. They both have really, really tough jobs because the entire movie thinking of the logistics of having to film something like this,
yeah,
everything is conceptualized as oneers. You know, like the only editing choices is chopping up those long takes. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they are basically being theater performers. You are looking through the lens of somebody's eyes and watching someone the whole time, and they look directly at the camera at some points, and they have to, like, and the choreography and the blocking that has to go with that. You know, that scene whenever the guys come running out of the gym and they jump over the two guys, and they're like, hey, I fucking hate that shit. And then in the middle of that, them jumping over, the perspective switches to Elwood, and like that had to be filmed twice at least, and I know that there's obviously several takes, but it had to be filmed twice from different perspectives, because literally you have one point of view for so much of the movie.
I didn't even think of the behind the scenes. Like, oh my God, it's to brilliant. Make the movie is crazy too. Yeah. Like, man, it's, and it was like, if you just stuck a camera point of view and, followed a hard hitting story, I think that's kind of one thing, but this is like, I mean, it looked beautiful. Like, as well. Like, this is crazy. It made the effort to combine the excitement of a first person POV sort of storytelling trope, which isn't common. You usually only see it in like video games, which is why I even compare it to being something fun. And then they made something truly beautiful, like you would in a typical, well, not a typical movie, but a good movie. And I know that whenever you are setting the camera up and you're able to, capture the scenery and capture both your characters talking to each other and having intimate moments, like, you do have the opportunity to create tons of visual storytelling. But one of my favorite touches is being able to see visual parallels through the eyes of a character. Gives it a different degree of beauty. And my favorite and the most devastating parallel in the movie is that the first shot is Elwood laying in the grass and him looking at his hand, and the last shot we see from Elwood's perspective is him laying in the grass looking at his hand. Yeah, and then looking up to the sky, and like, yeah, it's brutal. Wasn't there like a peach tree or like an orange or like orange tree, or very early, like early on, and then I'm like, wait, like I've seen that before. Why, and then he like doing it as slave labor at the, or like it is the whole, like, I mean, it's great. Like, they didn't even call these prisons. Like, these were actually just academies. No, it's a school. Like, yeah, it's a school. This is a school. It's supposed to be, it's a juvenile detention center. Like, it is. They're treating it as a school. They are supposed to go there and learn to become better men. But that's the guise. It is a prison. It is a way to exploit, quote unquote, lost causes for labor, for free labor, not even cheap labor, straight up free labor. And like all of, the movies this month, I feel like there's been the real life kind of, twine, like they're telling real things, but this is so clearly just like actually telling like a putting some details up for the movie for sure, but like this happened, and not just one time. And even Turner points it out at one point. He's like, this is just one school. This is just nickel. There's nickels all over the country. And that's just, it's not okay. Like the whole time it was just, it's weird to say like that I was having fun like while watching, but it was just like the exhilaration of watching a movie that's so profoundly well done and so thoroughly thought out and visual and conceptualized, and just visualized and conceptualized. Sorry. It's unbelievable. I really, again, I have a tough time telling you that I like it. As far as the 20s themselves are concerned up to this point, I have a tough time telling you I like one more than this. It's trying to think. Like, I mean, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, like I'm thinking like Killers of the Flower Moon, it definitely, I mean, it was Marty, it hit, like, it was like, holy shit, but this, I don't know, it's crazy that I'm putting it above a Marty Scorsese movie.
Yeah, a Scorsese film that stars De Niro and
what the
DiCaprio,
fuck?
and
Yeah.
had an Oscar-nominated performance from Lily Gladstone, and just an ensemble that was insane. You're looking at a couple of very young performers that are headlining this movie. They aren't in a ton prior to this, but they're working actors, but nothing. They were never the leads in a feature film. Like you said, RaMell Ross had never directed a feature film. I'm pretty sure Jomo Frey, the cinematographer, might be his first feature film, if I'm not mistaken, which is an unbelievable credit.
Jeez.
Because,
I mean, you could think it'd be like, oh, well, it's a POV shot no matter what. You don't have to think of where the camera's going, but like, it limits you completely. Like, you have to go through the point of view, like, and then you have to set up the scene around it. Like, I think it's like yeah, I think the camera position, sure, you already know it, but like, no, it's like a challenge. Like, I feel like that is limiting to a cinematographer, and then, but to have it be so beautiful still, like, I mean, there's just certain shots that were like wallpaper, like, I mean, just straight up, like, holy shit, I want to pause almost and just have this movie.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, and again, providing that point of view perspective, whenever a character looks him in the eyes, like they're looking you in the eyes. There's a different level of connection you get to the characters because of it, and again, it provides a certain type of intimacy that almost makes Elwood and Turner's relationship hard to read, as in, like, it feels so intimate that it almost feels romantic at several points.
I thought they were going to kiss at one point.
I thought they were too.
I thought, I don't know. I thought it was going to
happen. There's always, especially in a story that is about an all boys school, and like, I would say
no
that
love
this
to be had
is
anywhere, and just
exactly. And I would say that this is an interesting comparison to make, because the Holdovers typically gets the comparison a lot more. I would say that this is our Dead Poets Society, as far as like the modern telling of it. Where the tragedy is concerned, is specifically. Now, obviously, completely different lens, but as far as kids wanting what they can't have and longing for a life beyond what they've been given, and then not being able to reach that full potential, and then some of them going on in their name, like that's at the core what Dead Poets Society is about. Obviously, there is no Robin Williams in this movie, but we have the evil side of it for sure. We have nothing but Kurtwood Smith's, the dad in Dead Poets Society, who finds his son. But
and it's just like Elwood was actually going to school. He was just on his way to school, and then just got in a stranger's car. That's all. This is all that happened. And then there's so many times where it's just like, very icky, like the old guy just poking him with a cane, knowing he can't do anything. Like, he can't do anything. The cop is standing right there watching the whole event happen, and then helps the guy walk across the street. And it's just like, ooh, like, certain blood boil moments like that.
Absolutely.
And you're in the car, you're in the back of the car with the bona fide car thief. It's like, it's man,
like, are you?
That is,
are you? No.
That's just
it's and it's sad too, because like it's a tragedy no matter what. I don't want to say that anybody deserves the treatment that they are getting, because they obviously don't. But there's an obvious layer of tragedy where it is wrong place, wrong time, victimized just because of his skin color. Like, there's another layer of tragedy there that is profound. And one of the more underrated performances in this movie is Ingenue Ellis Taylor, Elwood's grandma, or she's incredible. Previously, we would have covered something with her in it in If Beale Street Could Talk. She was the deeply unlikable mother of...
oh my god, what a switch up. Holy shit. That is... Wow, that's crazy. Like, you said it, and then it clicked instant. Like, but her face is so different. She's so lovable here that, like,
I know.
It's not even close. Holy,
not even close.
Wow. That's
she does an incredible job. So I think that she was, again, one of those performers that was potentially snubbed for a performance nod in some capacity. Last year, I did the Cinementalists Cinema Awards on basically just on Blue Sky. And she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for me because she had to be. I thought that she just did such an incredible job, and has the most heartbreaking moment of the movie. Whenever she hugs Turner and is like, "He's fine, he's fine."
Nope.
Yeah, no.
Nope.
I'm losing it. I'm absolutely losing it.
God, even without the twist, without it, if it goes, actually, Elwood makes it out and Turner doesn't make it,
Yeah, like either way, it's devastating.
Either way, it was already bad. And, it was already bad if both of them actually got away. If both of them dodged every single bullet that dude shot and they actually got away, it still sucks. So, like, it was, I was already, I'm like in shambles, or like, I'm just like, man, there's no gleaming light out of this. And then it was like, okay, take your emotion, it was not a good time at the end.
No.
But in the best movie terms, not a good time. That's kind of
it made it an exceedingly good movie. Yes. Yeah, it's a devastating revelation and makes the movie all the better. Yeah, I adore the end of this movie. I think it's an incredibly edited movie as well. I love the visual montage that they put together at the end to kind of simulate the passage of time. And, they show Daveed Diggs eventually as he continues to grow older and older and older in the movie. And you don't even, you do realize at a certain point, but you've seen him in like the early aughts, and you've seen him in the 80s, and you've seen him like, you've watched a lot of his life, which is really, really compelling.
Wow.
And, that was something that pretty, when I was in the theater for the first time, the second Daveed Diggs pops up and you see his big ass shoulders and his hair, I was like, me being, a huge fan of Blind Spotting, and furthermore, a massive fan of Hamilton, as every young, white liberal is wont to do. I immediately recognized Daveed Diggs before he says a word, and then he opens his mouth and I'm like, yep, that's Daveed Diggs, because he's got that distinctive voice. So when I'm watching it and I realize that that's Daveed Diggs, who we're saying is Elwood, two thoughts occurred in my mind. I was like, either they don't give a shit about the fact that Daveed Diggs's skin is much lighter than Elwood's. And then the spinning out of that thought was, well, his skin tone does match Turner's a little bit more. Now I was like, and so thereafter I was like, and because of the POV thing, I was like, well, they might never show his face, and they might have just been like, that's just the way the cookie crumbles. That was the right actor for the job. We booked him, and that was that. Like I was like, so there was that was that part of me, but there was always that part of me nibbling at the back of my mind, going, that might be Turner. That might be Turner. And then like it eventually is, and I'm like, oh fuck, I hate being right. I hate that I know what Daveed Diggs looks like from the back.
I guess I wasn't like immune to the like, wait, is that him? I'm like, because like I remember seeing the business card, and Elwood's name on there, and I'm like, okay, so this is older Elwood,
it's Elwood,
Yeah. I'm like, I'm right in that camp. But then I was like, what is off here? I didn't put it together that like, oh, like one of them's making it out, one of them. I didn't think it was Turner playing on. I'm like, I don't know. I guess it is POV always from the back. They haven't shown, but then like he does kind of flash his hand, or like you do see his skin tone every now and then. And I'm like,
every once in a while, and you're like, huh,
yeah, I'm like, I don't think they would. You know, I'm like,
no, like, and with such an emphasis on, you know, like with such a race consciousness, obviously, you have to imagine that colorism isn't. And it obviously wasn't beyond their grasp, you know, that wasn't, they weren't going to cast a light-skinned man to play older Elwood, you know, like that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, so like, I appreciate that ultimately it wasn't what I was thinking, like, oh, maybe it's just a weird casting choice. It wasn't, obviously. Because also Daveed Diggs is an incredible older version of Brandon Wilson. Like, that's an unbelievable casting choice. As far as like, if they made a movie where that was just what they did and they were on screen the whole time, I would fully buy it. They are they're very, very, almost a perfect kind of combo for that. But, yeah, gorgeous movie, and that third person POV that you know, a few different ways you can read it, but I love the idea that, you know, I love the idea that it could still be Elwood's perspective of him. Okay. You know, like Elwood is always with him and there and always watching over him. I think that's an interesting way to read it. The more devastating way to read it is that he is like permanently disembodied, permanently removed from himself and permanently.
Yeah.
That's part of the older Elwood, older Turner, his story is that every woman that comes into his life is like, you're not letting go. There's something you know. There's something haunting you. Which how could it not?
Yeah, I feel like it is. Like he obviously doesn't. You know, he's very calm. You know, very kind of like life is just kind of moving. You know, I have my moving company. Like he's on the up and up. I guess. You know, he's got living. Employees now. Like things are going, but like it is. Even though he is like taking Elwood's name and like kind of letting that live on, I think it is like the spirit of Elwood, you know, like Elwood was he saw the light in everything, like almost like I feel like even when we were looking through his perspective, I feel like it was the smaller things were more beautiful through his eye, like in that I'm trying to think of like examples of when that happened, but like it was maybe before he was arrested, and he was just kind of, we were just kind of, I mean, we watched his childhood, I guess, at first, which was, I mean, that was really cool, like from, like a little child
the shot of him watching Martin Luther King on the TVs, and then the TVs turning off, and him being in the reflection, the iron going across the board, and him being in the reflection of that, like, those kind of first moments where they're keying you into the idea that is what we are doing specifically. We are seeing through his eyes. Amazing choices. The shot where they're looking up at the glass, you know, that's actually just a shot of someone above glass shooting through it, looking at them, you know, like that's all that is.
That's funny. Yeah, that is weird. But like, there was like that's just so optically weird. I guess like, yeah, that glass is still there. It's just not it's just not a mirror. It is just
it's just that they're actually just looking at a camera that is perfectly keeping in step with them.
Dude, yeah, and like it was I mean, I can't, I don't know, think of more good things. Just like I'm trying to, or really trying to think of like, did I not like something about it, like at all? And you know, it was
I don't like the way it makes me feel sometimes. You know, like that's
it's not a positive,
not a happy movie.
But emotions, you know, that's okay.
Important. I love feeling that way. That's the other, like, I love when a movie makes me feel that way. So that's something I ultimately, you know, I'm not going to not forgive it for making me feel deeply.
You're right. Like, not like taking such a long gap between seeing it in theaters and watching it again, I think, it's gonna be kind of a little bit before I go through it again. It's like
exactly, and it's extremely heavy, but I think more than that, it's a testament to how good the movie is. You know, it's not just that it's really heavy, but it's one of those movies that's so good you almost don't need to watch it more than once. Like it's going to stick with you. And I think that speaks profoundly to how quality the movie is. One of my, again, favorite editing choices is there's sort of those in-between cuts throughout the movie where they show little flashes of something like the train heading north, which we eventually see is Turner after this. But like those little flashes that almost feel like, you know, transitionary moments.
Yeah. Wasn't there like a Green Goblin kind of guy? Am I remembering that right? Like, or was this a Night of the Seven Kingdoms random? No, I think it was. I don't know. I think it was like a random person in the city. I don't know. I think it was here. There were. I don't know, man. I couldn't tell you. There's
there are so many like little interjected cuts and shots and stuff that there are these little moments that do remove themselves from the point of view perspective thing and just kind of show life every once in a while, but they're brief and they're in flashes. And one of my favorite things about this movie is, you know, after I watched it a couple days ago, it was really, really nice outside, and I went for a walk, and it makes you keenly aware of your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me, keenly.
I wasn't the only one. Okay.
No. It makes you fully aware of how much your eyes see and how much you just ignore. Typically, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't ever notice my hands. You know, when I'm walking.
True. Yeah.
I don't notice my hands, but I see them. When I was walking, I saw them, and I like looked up, and I watched my perspective change.
You are the camera.
Yes,
I became the camera. My brain became. It was so weird. And then it's like your nose is always there, 100% of the time. If you have your eyes open, your brain just cuts it out. But then once you start thinking about it, then you're like, shit, it is right there. But it's
right there.
Blur. It's like it's always right, but you just never see it. But like. A matter of perspective, and what a way to play with it. Like just to have, originally I thought it was just always going to be Elwood's perspective, and then the dynamic switch. But then the third person aspect, like it didn't hit me right away. I thought it was just older Elwood and more of like a way just to show the audience that this is older Elwood, because like. Yeah, maybe it just is harder to tell if like you.
No, it 100% functions in that manner too. But granted, most of the time that we see him, he's looking at a computer screen.
Yeah,
which they didn't.
That's true. I guess the tech. I guess the time does place. Yeah, it is there, but I think it does. Like at least that's what it was for me at first while watching, and then like it hit me. Like kind of in mid Letterboxd review, I'm like, oh fuck! Like they hit like the third person like really hit, and I'm just like, oh no! And then like and the disembodied like kind of, like I thought that it was kind of like he's so zoned out at this point in life that it is kind of like he doesn't have the perspective that he once really had before, or like that it's just brutal and then, but it also is just, it's not Elwood, like, as well. Like, it hits just in every kind of way you think about it, which, like, it is, like, they found a way to make, the story was going to hit no matter what if you tell just the story of these academies and the unmarked graves that, were uncovered and like that, like, very shown, like, is that how these were like discovered, or at least shown, like the public became aware, is like this is how it came out of, like they actually found unmarked graves, but it took many years later, which is just, that's like scary that they were still operating and just it eventually.
This is actually Turner's character points out at some point that, there are hundreds of nickels all over the country, and and it's very, very real. There was a documentary last year called Sugarcane, also nominated for Best Documentary Feature at the Oscars in the same year that this was nominated. And one of the main stories throughout that movie is the unmarked graves at, similar academies and, this sort of thing for Native Americans or natives in Canada, which that's been a much bigger story over the last couple years, are these like massive unmarked graves that they're finding where schools used to stand and stuff. And like, there actually is a school in Florida that this is like loosely based on, that operated from 1900 until 2011.
Oh no. I did not want to be alive,
Yeah.
That's not okay. That is, oh my God. Yeah.
And I'm, here's hoping that practices had shifted. But there's something to be said for the fact that the school hadn't shut down until the 2010s.
Man, I mean, yeah, it's just such a slow, but always on, like everything is bad. It's showing you the worst of the worst and like how corrupt it can be. But then like, I do love, like, at least Elwood, to me, like it just seemed that he did just have a completely different outlook on everything.
He
like
was an optimist.
Turner, Turner, like, he, not that he wasn't positive, like he still had, like, he wasn't all just frowns and all, doom and gloom, but he was just more of a realist, like kind of just, he was a realist. That's this.
He'd been in nickel longer, he'd been in nickel longer, and he came up in a different family life. There's just this element where he felt abandoned at nickel, and then once he's at nickel, he feels abandoned by the world. Like there's you're on your own and they're not going to do anything to help you. So, all we can do is what we can do, and so like, it wasn't that he'd given up and that he was, a Debbie Downer. I mean, he was a realist, like you said, but, Elwood's new to nickel. Elwood's new to nickel. And, he was, he participated in those protests, and he believed in change. He believed change was possible, and he believed that we could all be better if we try to do better. If you're complicit, you're guilty. And
there's a fifth way out of nickel. That like that I loved Elwood's very, very Martin Luther King-esque. I feel like he was, like, obviously he idolized him. He ran up to a cardboard cutout at Mach 2. I mean, yeah, that was, oh, dang. Yeah, but Turner, like, I guess the one thing that was like, oh man, really, was not telling him that his Nana like came to visit and then like had a thing. And I think in his mind, it's out of like protection. It's like nothing is gonna work. It's better if you just give up kind of now, in a way.
And Elwood gets it too. That doesn't even cross Elwood's mind to not forgive him for it. Like. Turner's like, and dude, I'm sorry I didn't tell you. And he's like, no, I get it. Like, because he watches what it does to him immediately. Yeah. Which is that, he's like, she said she came and they didn't let her see me. How can they possibly do that? Like, how different is that reaction if Turner goes, hey, I saw your Nana. Like, she talked to me. She gave me a hug. There's a different, there's this layer of protection for sure, I think. But there's also a layer of jealousy. Turner wanted to hold that, like that's he got to have that moment. And I think that's that's just human of him. I don't blame him for it one bit.
Man, and I mean, he gets Man, a hug there, and then sadly a hug, at the end too. Fuck, man,
God,
these
just destroys
God,
me.
Dang, it's like why, man? Why did they have to flip? Like, why? It's such an evil move, but in evil,
it's such an evil move,
but good, a very good way for a in movie terms. But god damn it, why did you have to? Like, yeah, it's still. I mean, it's very fresh.
And the second the gunshot is fired, and you get that perspective shift where it just it sucks out of his body, and he goes behind Turner, and you're like, oh god, and the fact that the guy who does it is the one who's been like their quote unquote friend, and obviously never their friend, but he's been the most tolerant of them.
I mean, god damn. I mean, he does he wants to say the N-word, but they can't cuss there at the academy. It's I don't know if the rules are all the same, to the white people.
No, I don't know that they're strictly that's strictly the case there. I think it's just more like maybe not here, not now. It's kind of like I'm still trying to act like I'm their friend.
Okay.
I think there's kind of that, and also that shot of him putting the rifle up and looking through the scope is one of the only shots in the movie that's not through the perspective of someone's eyes.
Oh wow, I didn't. Yeah. That's
just one of those choices that editing wise I think is just trying to make it hit a little harder again. It's just like you're getting up close and personal to the person who's doing it, and
if it was like the reticle, that's like no, that's not what you want. Like in that
no,
moment,
I don't want to see it through his eyes. I definitely don't want to see it through his eyes. I don't think it's again, I just wanted to point it out. I don't think it's a wrong choice. I think it's a good choice. Wow. It's just an interesting choice to
only shot. Yeah, that's but I didn't even think twice, because it's like you do need to see the face of
the man who's
like 100%,
because there's no hesitation there. He just does it. Like that's just what he's doing, and that's that.
Man, it's just so. I mean, like it's a factory. Like this is the goal. Actually, it's like this is not a one didn't graduate. It's like this is the whole reason we have this. The separation. In the it's like, oh no, it's like holy shit, these are the worst of the white people too. They're being sent, or I don't know. It's like maybe it's like such a sick, twisted way of gathering people that are okay with murdering like people on the run. Like these are gonna be the people with the least morals. So it's like they'll even do the murder for us. It's like it's just. It's so evil that I can't even. I don't know. I'm trying to just comprehend that this is not made up for movies. This is
no. Well, and that's to your point. Like, there's this is still a school they send troubled individuals to, quote unquote troubled. Kids in trouble. And, the white kids seemingly have nothing to worry about ever. There's never
they're playing fucking 500 over there, like what the fuck? And just like you get out of the car,
Mexican kid who gets passed back and forth because he doesn't have they're like, well, shit, I guess for this we're going to call you one of them, but for this we're going to call you one of us. And, getting moved mid-fight, like mid-boxing match. From one side to the other, like now you got to root for these guys just cause, and you have to root for them because you're sitting next to them, or else they will alienate you,
and just thought it was round 2, that sucked. I thought he fully well knew what he was doing. Actually, I thought he was kind of he was saying, fuck it, I'm going out with a bang.
I think he did too, and then immediately. I think he did, and then regretted it immediately. But I don't know. There's an element of, you're lost in the moment, and there's that. But there's a few acting choices that make me feel like nah, he was with it, and it was just like, I'm a fighter and I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go down swinging. You know,
he did put on a show. You know, that was like, it was a lot of tear up. You know, I mean, the end is just bad. That was like when he was putting on the show, and like you do, you know, it was basically his way of saying, I don't give, you know, I know I'm going to die because of this, you know, and I'm going for it. I'm like, holy shit, like that was incredible.
It's a beautiful because Turner even says, you know, this match causes us a year of humiliation. You know, like we do this every year, and every year we lose, and every year, you know, like it talks shit all the way back up, and then it goes and it's like, oh shit, they fix it every year, duh, you know.
Yep.
God, and I fucking hate him. I hate him. I hate the character. Hamish Linklater is so good at playing it, though. The scummy,
the instructor, or
the
like
instructor,
what, I don't know what to. He probably had a name, but Mr.
I can't remember what it is.
Yeah,
but no, him. He's a really talented actor. I really enjoy him. One of those actors who he pops up and stuff, and every time I'm like, hey, Hamish Linklater, I like that guy. He and seeing him pop up in this was definitely a pleasant surprise the first time I watched it. And he actually, just a little piece of trivia about the movie is that he took the role because he loved the book. That was already like, it wasn't like he got the role and was like, I guess I'll read the book. No, like he was excited to take the role because he'd read the book and loved it. And it is a beautiful book. I remember last year I made an effort to read all of the books that the adapted screenplay nominees were adapted from. And this year I made no such effort. But last year I did make that effort, and it was very, very fruitful. I ended up reading a few very, very good books, and Nickel Boys was easily my favorite of the bunch. It's a beautiful source material. It's a beautifully adapted movie, and Colson Whitehead is an incredible author. He also did a book called Underground Railroad, which is obviously about the Underground Railroad.
Wow.
Yeah, see? You see. But that also got adapted a few years back into a miniseries on Prime by Barry Jenkins, who directed Moonlight and If Beale Street Could Talk.
Okay.
Yeah, so and that was an incredible book as well. So he's got the basis right now for just those two things that have been adapted on screen, but I can't wait to see what else might spin out of Colson Whitehead's work. I mean, he did a few other books that he did Harlem Shuffle. That's a popular one of his, and that's like a trilogy of books if I remember correctly. He's got the Crook Manifesto. He's a really, really talented writer, and I just love his work. So
the Conclave being the adapted screenplay went like that is.
I mean, it's a good screenplay. It's a solid screenplay.
But
you know,
come on, what are you kidding? Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm assuming the book wasn't. Oh, well, I guess all books are through the eyes, or actually kind of first. Maybe this is what books are. Shit. I don't know.
What am I saying?
But yeah, no. What a Conclave just doesn't hold a candle to this for me. Like that. Not even close.
And I mean, the only movies as far as the other Best Picture nominees, this was one of two Best Picture nominees to not win a single award that night, and there are 10 Best Picture nominees. The only other one was A Complete Unknown, the Timmy Chalamet Bob Dylan biopic. Those were the only two Best Picture nominees to not cinch a single win. But I look at the list of Best Picture nominees, and Dune 2,
Yeah.
You know, like that might be the one, that might be the only thing that I think even kind of holds a candle to this, and even then it's for completely different reasons.
Yeah, that's a whole different ball game. Like
it's a completely different reason.
Part of the brain is being activated over there.
100%, 100%. I look at the list of best directing nominees, and you know I see Amelia Perez's director Jacques Audiard, and you know a complete unknown James Mangold. I don't see why you don't put RaMell Ross here. Best adapted screenplay, it was nominated alongside Amelia Perez, alongside A Complete Unknown, alongside Conclave, and frankly, none of those should have beat Nickel Boys, and none of them should have beat Sing Sing, which was the other nominee, and one that I'd considered covering in this slot instead of Nickel Boys. But I couldn't bring myself to do it. Should have been nominated in cinematography over Amelia Perez, at least. You can make an argument for Maria there. As far as editing is concerned, Amelia Perez, Wicked, you know, there's nothing redeeming about Amelia Perez besides Zoe Saldana. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, no, but this is all redeeming. This is like, this should be praised. This should be maybe. I hate if it's like, oh no, it's a directorial debut. We can't give him too much.
Can't just go ahead and give it to him. Yeah,
it's like you got to earn your cred. It's like sometimes art is just fucking beautiful.
Art is just beautiful,
yeah, and
dude.
like holy shit, people strike gold. And this one was, it was just so. The movie experience was so unique, which is like why it's kind of making me want to know what the second viewing will be like knowing where it goes and just kind of being able to just
it's even more devastating. Yeah, there's because there are those visual parallels that I pointed out that just like stand out all the more. Where you go, oh fuck, oh fuck, yeah, it's heavy, man.
Oh my god! Yeah, what a movie!
And you pointed out those moments that he just like when you can tell Elwood's focusing on things, which maybe that's what him looking at Fred Hetchinger's character putting the gun to his face is him noticing it and seeing that, because they do show those moments where he's looking at Hattie, brush. And he sees her fingers, and like they do zoom in on stuff to show that that's what he's focusing on. So maybe that's the point there at the end. But yeah, no, I mean it's a beautiful movie, and I'll never tire of it. I'll never be done singing its praise. I think that it was the best picture of 2024 for me. I have little doubt about that. And upon revisiting, I have even less doubt about it.
Man, yeah, I like Dune, Dune's cool. It's actually sick as fuck, but like, nah, this is what movies are
this
really
is what movies are for.
Yeah, this is using the medium to its fullest potential here. Like, yeah, and
God, it's just a beautiful movie. A beautiful movie.
And what a good slate this month. This month was.
I do my best.
Yeah,
I do my best. I try not to, because there's a certain excitement in getting to watch a movie for the first time. But when I know there's one right there, how am I going to pass up on it? Like that's kind of how I look at it. It's just like, how am I going to, I'm pleased to introduce you to them. I'll live vicariously through you, for the first watches when it comes to the podcast. And we got a slate of them, coming next month here as we move into March. For those who don't know, March is Joseph's birthday month, and last year we covered Tron on his birthday, and thereby we made the whole month a sci-fi month. It was a lot of fun, and this year we're switching it up a little bit. January was my birthday month. I wanted to cover Titanic on my birthday, so we did nothing but romance movies. And we're putting a little twist on that this year for Joseph's birthday month. We got a little bit more creative than just sci-fi, than just romance. It's not just genre based, and we'll get to that here in a moment. I'm going to do a couple plugs. We're going to rate Nickel Boys on a scale of 1 to 10. all of our feelings about the movie put into a number, and it's going to be an easy one. And then we are going to announce the slate for next month. So basically right now, all we've got going on other than the Cinementalists is Geek With Me. Our Nerd Shit podcast just concluded coverage of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms last week. Here in about a month, Daredevil Born Again kicks off, and Maul Shadow Lord comes around, and we're going to be covering both of those semi-weekly. Very excited for that. We got a lot to look forward to with House of the Dragon Season 3 this summer, and we're going to be trying to fill the gaps as best we can. But the Cinementalists is where our focus is at. That's something you can rely on every week, guaranteed. That's coming on Fridays or sometimes Saturdays, and in the next month, a couple of Mondays as well. So we got a big slate in March, and I'm very, very excited for it. But yeah, Geek With Me is where it's at. If you've never watched Twin Peaks, you ought to watch Twin Peaks because we've got a companion podcast for you. It concluded earlier this month. Firepod with me, friendly to the first-time viewer and the rewatcher alike. You will not go wrong if you watch Twin Peaks. And then if you happen to want a companion podcast with it, we've got it for you. Check it out. Firepod with me, a Twin Peaks podcast. You guys made the Cinementalists have its best month ever here in February, which is absolutely incredible. Thank you very, very much for continually listening to us ramble about movies that we happen to love most of the time. It's a great joy. I love doing it. And here's to making March an even bigger month because we will have a couple more episodes. So I'll get to that slate here in a moment. On a scale of 1 to 10, Nickel Boys is a 10. Why?
10. Because it is, there's no other number. There is no hesitation. This is you just know. You know it in the bone. You feel it in the bones.
When there's a 10, you just feel it. You get it. You know for a fact it's a 10. And that's what... Is that the first 10 on the Cinementalometer since Titanic?
I believe so. Yeah, I'm pulling up the good old sheet now. I think it's very. It's been I don't know. We've been very close. Very, very, very close. It takes. I really need to. I don't know. We're getting to the point where I have to scroll down so far. Where we have so many movies. But yes, Titanic was the last 10. Past Lives also right before it as well at a 10 right there.
So 3 10s across the board here in 2026 so far. It's pretty good 2 months in. That's pretty good 2 months in. I'll be interested to find out if we have another one of those in March. I don't know that we do. Gut feeling. Don't know that we do.
That's true. It's a different swing.
But that's okay. That's okay. It is a different swing because in March... based off of Joseph's movie of choice for his birthday, which will be coming on March 21st. March 21st, we will be covering Eyes Wide Shut to celebrate Joseph's birthday. Now, for those of you who have seen Eyes Wide Shut, you might be going, what the fuck? Why on earth would you celebrate your birthday with Eyes Wide Shut? Because we can. Because fuck you, that's why.
Because
no, Eyes Wide Shut, I love that movie. Yeah. It's because Joseph hasn't seen it. It is a first viewing for Joe, as will most of the month. All of it, which I'm very excited for. I'm very excited. I love doing the first viewings thing. It's always a great joy. So, based around Eyes Wide Shut being the birthday movie, Joe, big Kubrick fan, big Shining, big Clockwork Orange, big what became a Spielberg film and AI artificial intelligence, but
Kubrick,
Dr. Strangelove, love Kubrick, we do. So Eyes Wide Shut was an easy choice for his birthday, and based out of that, could we have gone, psychological thriller? Could we gone erotic thriller? We could have done any of these things, but we decided to get a little bit more fun, a little bit more specific, and we are doing a project for the month of March around secret societies. Yes. Secret societies, which is just a super fun fucking idea. I'm super excited about it because it's going to bring a slate of varying genre films, and so far this year that isn't something we've gotten a great pleasure of doing. I would argue that, while tonally we do have some shifts here in Black History Month, most of them beat at the very, they were dramas. They were dramas, and that's a lot of fun. January was nothing but romance, and there were different takes on romance, but it was a lot of romance. The only thing that ties these movies is that secret society aspect, and we're going to start next Friday with John Carpenter's They Live. A little bit of a sci-fi, a little bit of an action, a little bit of a everything going on there. I'm very excited for that. Led by Rowdy Roddy Piper. the former WWE wrestler, the WWF legend. We love that. It's got Keith David. Who doesn't love Keith David? Let's fucking go. So we've got that to look forward to. That will be on March 6th. March 13th, purposefully the Friday before the Oscars, we will be covering one of this year's Best Picture nominees, a 13-time nominated Oscar nominee. One Battle After Another, as it does feature a secret society. It's not the point of the movie, but it is one of the main points of the movie for the antagonist, so it feels purposeful to go ahead and tackle that. One Battle After Another. We're going to shoehorn that in the midst of award season, which is a lot of fun because we're going to be celebrating award season. We're going to be celebrating our own awards. The first annual Cinementalists Cinema Awards will be coming on Monday, March 9th, the Monday prior to the Oscars, where we will have our own slate of nominees: Best Picture, Actor, Actress, Best Supporting in both those categories, Director, Original Screenplay, Adapted Screenplay, Cinematography, all the goodies, all of that. We got our own, and we get a little bit of an expanded field. We like to do 6 nominees instead of 5, and still 10 in that Best Picture category. So we like to give ourselves a little bit of variety beyond what the Academy says, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I've done a lot of watching for that, and I'm excited to go ahead and give you guys our nominees. I'll be announcing those slowly trickling in over the course of time on TikTok. Check that out. Colton Robertson, look me up. That's where I'm going to be putting that. Also on Blue Sky, but TikTok is probably where most of you are at, so check that out. That'll be Monday, March 9th, and then the following Monday we will be doing a 2026 Oscars reaction show, as we did last year for the 2025 Oscars, where you will probably hear me in that episode go, "Oh God, I really think Nickel Boys should have won Best Picture."
Yeah, it'll probably be disappoint. It's usually disappointment. It's usually Who knows?
See, here's the thing. The thing about this year. The thing that I'm excited about this year is that there's not a single film that I am particularly passionate about, which sounds like a bad thing. But the good thing is that I am generally very pleased with all of them. I like all the Best Picture nominees, and thereby I'm happy as long as F1 doesn't win. And it won't, so I have nothing to worry about. If it does, we're going to have fucking issues.
1% chance.
It's nominated. There is a non-zero chance. So
no way.
What more do you want from theory alone? But
that'll be maybe the only time. I don't know. No, there definitely will be an episode. I was going to say there won't be an episode if it wins, but there 100%.
Oh no, there will be. There would have to be a reaction. It will be the most. It will be the most angry you ever hear, Colton. That's a promise. But yeah, so that's our celebration of award season. Our own awards on March 9th, and then a reaction show to the Academy Awards the following week, the day after the Oscars on March 16th, and that goes along with, as I said, They Live on Friday, March 6th. One Battle After Another, March 13th. You're going to have to wait an extra day for an episode the following week, as Joe's birthday is until Saturday. So Saturday, March 21st, we will be discussing Eyes Wide Shut. And then we will be topping off the month with our first really, truly light film in some time. They Live is pretty... Yeah. They Live is relatively light. But
it's been a heavy year.
Relatively.
Yeah.
It's been a heavy year so far. We've been hammering away at the heavy films. Moonstruck has a lot of levity to it. I'll give it that. But
Poetic Justice was, it was more. There was some.
It was plenty. It was pretty fucking dramatic though.
It's still heavy. Overall, it's
still heavy.
Very heavy.
Hot Fuzz is how we're topping off the month of March. So
let's go.
We've got a tried and true comedy film coming at the end of March, and I'm very excited about that because I don't know the last time we covered an actual just comedy. It is an action comedy, and it's probably action first, but it is so fucking funny. And I cannot wait to discuss it. We love Simon Pegg, and calling that a secret society movie is kind of funny because that's a little bit of a twist in the movie, that there's a secret society, and I'm spoiling that already, just off the rip. But it is what it is.
I'm just there. I'm there for the Simon Pegg of it. That's all I had to hear, is that it's a very serious, somewhat take on but spoofing.
It's a satire, but it's so funny, dude. I love it. I love it. So we got that to look forward to. That is March slate for the movies. They Live, One Battle After Another, Eyes Wide Shut, and Hot Fuzz. And who else is doing it like that, folks? You're not going to find another movie podcast doing it like that. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope you stick with us for another month. Keep sharing the show. Show us to all your friends. We would love that. If you got a friend who likes movies, and I know you do, we're the podcast for them. Go ahead and slide them our way. But yeah, with that, I think we can conclude one of the highlights of our movie coverage so far. Nickel Boys, just one of the best. Yeah, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here, homie.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, fuck ice.